So begin by just grounding in the body. Feeling the breath in the body, or your hands touching. For some people, that's easier. And just being aware of your naturalness of touch, and the naturalness of the breath. The rhythm of breathing. You're being breathed. And from this place, you might bring to mind a difficulty that you've had or might be having. Time you experienced a strong emotion. Noticing the components of that emotion. There might be thoughts related to it, body sensations. Often there's some fear there, even if fear isn't the primary emotion. And when these difficulties happen, they're like little storms. Whether they're created outside or inside, it doesn't really matter. We're in a storm. And just bring to mind what qualities you've brought to when you've been in a storm. What did you do when you were in an intense storm, an actual physical storm? Hopefully you tried to stay relaxed and wait it out. And take these qualities of right action right view, part of the Eightfold Path, and just bring them from your head down into heart. So, whatever qualities you use to weather an actual physical storm, just bring these into your heart now as far as meeting any emotional storms that were or are. See what it's like to bring those qualities to this emotional storm. Make sure you keep breathing. So, the first part of equanimity is to bring it from the head to below the neck. It could be your heart, could be your solar plexus. The huge part of the storm is the head, and the thoughts create their own storm within the storm. How do I figure out what do I do? Oh no, this is going to happen. This is not going to happen. So, about 50% of a storm is your own thoughts. So, it's bringing it down into the heart or below. And just feel somatically what happens when you bring it down out of the head and into the heart or solar plexus. So there could be great fear here, but you're meeting it with the heart. It may or may not be different. Just see for yourself. And as you're meeting this with your heart, you can actually widen your heart, make your heart as wide as the world. Let your heart include all hearts, everyone's true heart. And just see how that feels. This is all just seeing what feels right for you and what happens when you make your heart wider. So it's not your personal heart holding this difficulty or trauma, it's this wide as the world heart. And you can even make it bigger by allowing this heart to expand to the one spiritual heart, one heart of the universe, or the witness, or the one mind, the one consciousness. Let this difficulty that you're having or have had be held by the one spiritual heart, the one awakeness that created all of us, that is all of us. And see how this difficulty feels then when it's held, not just by your heart, but by this one heart that's holding you, holding all of us. And if the word heart is difficult for you, just let the one spacious presence hold this difficulty, because we know space is holding everything. So opening up the heart or space and breathing and widening. Just keep widening whatever's holding the difficulties of the world and you and our problems. You might feel you're holding it, but you're being held by something greater. It doesn't have to be a spiritual thing, just space itself is connecting with each of us and holding each of our difficulties together. In this way, we can be the eye of the storm. So even if it's a tornado or a hurricane of problems, the cauldron of the world, you can stay in the center as the eye of the storm, and you can widen that eye of the storm whenever you need to. And you can also feel the edges of the storm. The storm always has a beginning, a middle, and end. It has the outside of the storm. You can see and feel that. Even if the storm's taken over your very being, you've always got the eye of the storm. You've always got where the storm ends, the edges. Let yourself feel that. Keep breathing. So something can be very horrific and all consuming or seeming to be, and you can just come to the center, the eye, and you can know that this thing has edges to it where it ends. Maybe you can even see to the outer edges where the storm will stop eventually. And lastly, you can go above the storm too. Just like you've been in an airplane when you're taking off in a storm, and then if you go above all the thought clouds, it's clear. So that's a different edge of the storm, the being above the whole thing. Just try these on, see what they feel like. No matter how great a difficulty you're in, there's always above, the outside, the center, and there's space there. So opening up that space on your own right now, no matter what's happening, you always have the ability to open up with space within it or know the space outside it or above it. You are that space. Don't be fooled by the illusion of a storm. You are the space.